At 4:30 in the morning, most of Los Angeles was still half asleep. The streets were dark. The freeway was quiet compared to rush hour, and on the west side of the city, police were responding to what first sounded like a disturbance call. But within minutes, that call would turn into one of the most terrifying freeway chases of the year. A white cargo van, a woman behind the wheel, police cars damaged, officers injured, and then the moment every driver fears, headlights coming straight toward traffic on the 405 freeway. It started near 4th and Rose Avenues in Venice. Officers were called to the area after reports of a woman causing a disturbance. When officers tried to respond, the situation exploded. The woman drove away. She allegedly rammed LAPD patrol cars as she fled. At least 2 officers were injured, thankfully only with minor injuries, but the pursuit was now active. This was no longer just a disturbance call, it was a chase. The driver did not simply try to escape. She aimed the van at police vehicles, at one point appearing to chase a cruiser down a street. Another time, she tried to reverse into an LAPD unit. The white van was not being driven like a getaway vehicle anymore. It was being used like a weapon. Officers continued after her as the chase moved from the streets of Venice toward the freeway system. Soon, the van was on the 405 freeway in West Los Angeles. Police attempted PIT maneuvers more than once. They tried to spin the vehicle, but each attempt failed.
The van kept going. By then, it was damaged. Smoke was reportedly coming from under the hood, but the driver still refused to stop. She continued at high speed. She reached more than 80 miles per hour. And then came the moment that changed everything. The driver turned around. Suddenly, the van was going the wrong way on the northbound lanes of the 405 freeway. For the drivers ahead, there was no warning. Imagine being on the freeway before sunrise, and then you see headlights coming directly at you. Not on a side road, not on a parking lot, on the 405 freeway. The van moved against traffic with patrol vehicles nearby. It swerved past oncoming cars. Every second felt like the crash was coming. At one point, the driver appeared to steer toward an oncoming vehicle, then pulled away and kept going. Ahead, near the Wilshire Boulevard exit, officers had managed to stop some traffic. Cars and a big rig were in the lanes, trapped in the path of the oncoming van. The white van kept coming. Then came the impact. It slammed head-on into the stopped vehicles. One car was hit, then another. The van crashed into at least 3 cars and a semi-truck. This brought the chase to a violent end. After the crash, the woman climbed out of the smashed van. She got onto the roof of the vehicle, then crawled onto the hood of the big rig. She tried to get inside his truck, but the truck driver refused to let her in. By then, officers were closing in on foot. Moments later, officers took her into custody. The suspect was identified as 41-year-old Lisa Ann Heflin. Prosecutors later charged her with 16 counts, including assault on police officers, assault with a deadly weapon, reckless fleeing, and hit-and-run property damage. Amazingly, no innocent driver was seriously injured, though at least one person was taken to hospital. 2 officers were treated and released, but the freeway paid the price too. Most northbound lanes of the 405 were shut down for hours. Traffic backed up through the morning as crews cleared the damaged vehicles and investigators worked the scene.